Hey everyone. This is probably gonna be a hard video, but I was watching a video earlier and just had me thinking about my dad. Fixing to hit, well, March will be 2 years that he's been gone. Excuse me if I'm crying, but the holidays he always went all out for my girls, all his grandkids really. He did a lot for them. He was very proud of my girls. He got to see both of them graduate. He was proud of my nephew Devin that's in the Army, just a proud papa. But also his kids, the three of us that have the kids and Molly that lived with him. He loved his kids very much. During the Christmas holidays, as a kid, we always watched on Christmas Eve, It's a Wonderful Life. And when I was younger, it was so boring to me. I just wanted to go to bed and wake up real quick the next morning and see all the presents and stuff like that. As I got older, though, I carried on that tradition with my girls. Like every Halloween, we'll watch the original Halloween. We'll stay up. I'll go through their candy and stuff and make sure nothing's in it, and we'll watch that in the background. But this year it's really hit me harder that my father's gone than last year, and I have talked to a therapist about it because I've lost people a lot in my life, as everybody has, but my father was the world to me. So I literally was just numb from it, and I went and talked to a grievance counselor or whatever to kind of help me get through it. You never get over losing a parent, even like a child, you never get over that. But with Christmas coming up, I think all last year we were more focused on my mom. My parents have been together like 46 years. I mean, they known each other since school. They went to the same school together and everything. So I think all last year we were mainly focused on her, his birthday, their anniversary, and stuff like that, and just kind of crowded around her and made sure she was okay. And I forgot about myself. I'm always a giver, and that's one thing that Polly and my girls cannot stand. They like that I'm a giver, but at the same time, I forget about myself. Sometimes it's okay to be selfish. But this year it's really hit me. Because I can't call them up and tell them, hey, our Cowboys suck. What the heck is going on with them? I can't call them about just everything. About Shauna getting her new car paid in cash, and so proud of her doing that. Taryn, just the things that she's doing. I mean, he was already proud of them before, but just to be able to call him up, and even talking about The Walking Dead, how aggravated he was with Carl at the time, and then it was Henry, and just stuff like that. The little things, the small things, you don't realize it. The first time it actually hit me that he was gone, I was in Walmart, and as a kid, whenever the pipes, my daddy was always the handyman. Like, I can fix it first. I'm not calling anybody and spend all this money. So when the pipes had just a little leak in and stuff, there was a special kind of tape, and it wasn't a sticky tape. It's called a tape, but he would wrap it around those pipes or whatever, and that would last years. And we had a small leak in our shower head right after he passed away, and so I told Polly, I said, I know what tape, what to look for. I said, I'll just go. I just need to get out of the house anyway. So I was by myself, and I went down the plumbing aisle in Walmart, and I reached for my phone. I was like, I can't remember the name of it, so I'll just call my dad. And I picked up the phone, and right when my mom answered it, it clicked on me. I'm like, oh crap, I can't ask for him. And so I started crying right there in the aisle in Walmart. And nobody was around, no customers, no salespeople to help me out or anything like that, which was good. I think that was best. I needed to have that moment. But I called my mom crying. I'm like, Oh crap, I said I meant to call Dad. No, nothing against you, but I meant to call Dad and I needed advice on something, and I just realized I can't do it anymore. So anyway, I call after I got a phone with my mom. I call, Polly. Polly's like, just please come home. If you don't want me to come meet you up there, just come home and stuff. But that's when it really hit me. What happened to my dad? My dad had been a smoker since he was 14 or 15. In his time era, it was okay for young kids to be smoking, and I've even got a black and white picture of him, and my grandpa found his dad with the cigarette pack rolled up on his sleeves like they used to do. So he had COPD. He was breathing through one lung. All kinds of things wrong with him, And I really think he just kind of gave up on life and everything, because when the doctor told him that he was no longer a candidate to donate to my mom for a kidney, he just didn't care anymore. He was fine when he found out my mom and I were okay through the surgery. His grandbabies were okay, his kids were okay, and he looked at life like he felt like he failed his wife. He even made that comment. He told my mom, he said, well, I failed your dad. And she said, what do you mean? He said, I told him I promised to take care of you. And I was like, Daddy, come on, you at least went through all the steps. You tried it. I mean, you even gave up smoking for a while to try to do this. It wasn't your story. It wasn't your part of your life to do. I was able to do it. So I think that's what it was. And he started wrapping himself around and doing work and stuff. He's always outdoors. He had to be doing something. One hurricane, they would come up to Houston, because they get flooded where they live. He had to go outside. He said, I'm going to go clean your gutters. I'm going to go weed eat your yard. He had to be doing something. But so here's the story about what happened. My dad bought my mom a house in town where they lived, where it didn't flood and stuff. He furnished everything in there, TV and everything for her. So once she had the surgery, she would just be coming home, didn't have to worry about anything. Their old little house, I call the house in the woods, it's flooded like 4 times. So he was over there cleaning up this last go around that they had a flood last year. So he was cleaning it all up, weed eating, chopping the wood, everything that you could think of. And it was real hot that day. Here in Texas, it gets real hot, even in March. He was like sweating. It might have been like 90 something degrees outside. But he got real hot and everything. He was ready for lunch. And so he decided to go to their house in town, and because that's where they live. He was just fixing up their old house or whatever that flooded. I don't know what he planned on doing with it or what, but anyway, so he goes back home and everything, and he tells my mom, he's like, I'm just tired. I think it was time for me to call a day or whatever. And she said, okay, I'm gonna make dinner and stuff. And my younger sister Molly lives with them. Molly's mentally challenged. A couple things, wrong with her. So she would always have to live with one of us. So she lived with my parents. Anyway, my father took a shower, got out of the shower. He ate dinner, didn't eat too much, and had some tea, and we're just sitting there in the living room on his recliner watching TV, and I think he started having like pains in his legs or something like that, and my mom went and got him like, just a cold compress on his legs and stuff. His muscles were aching, so he just thought he overdid it outside. But he stood up, had to go to the bathroom. When he stood up, he collapsed like immediately on the floor in front of my mom and Molly, my sister. And they thought maybe he had tripped or something, and his dog Beasley was off to the side, just licking on my dad's arm. Molly was trying to wake him up and everything, couldn't, so she was freaking out, and my mom's like, called 911. They came out there, and my dad was always, since the time he could drive, he was always as a donor on his license, whatever. They worked on his body. Once they got there, they worked on his body for like 45 minutes, and he never woke up. And once they got him to the hospital, they said that them working on his body for so long, it just shocked all his organs and stuff. He wouldn't been able to donate any organs. It was so bad. But poor Molly, I will never know, what she, to see that happen in front of her, and already dealing with mental stuff, how that, affected her. And I keep telling my mom that maybe she needs to take her to go talk to someone, because not knowing it, and I don't want to hear it, but I can't tell her not to say it. That's just her way of dealing with it. When we talk about my dad, or people that didn't know he's passed away, from school and stuff like that, she replays it. She, has to talk about it and stuff. I was here in Houston, me, Polly, and my youngest daughter. We were watching Captain Marvel in the movie theater. When I always leave my phone at home or in the car. I'm not a big, phone person, like staying on my phone and stuff like that. So my sister was trying, Eileen, my oldest sister, was trying to get a hold of me, and she had texted Polly and said, "Hey, can you get Elaine to call me? It's real serious. It's about my dad." I already knew, a gut feeling, I already knew. I left the movie theater. I told Polly and Taryn, I said, "Y'all stay in here. I'll go see what's going on." Went to the car, and then I was just, when she told me, it was pretty much it. I mean, I saw Taryn and Polly coming out, and I didn't know how to tell my babies. Because my dad had always been like a father figure to my girls, besides being Pawpaw, before Polly came in the picture. So pretty much all their life. But I had to tell Taryn, and my friend Kristen called me, and that hurt me, because she was hurting that she was in North Carolina, that she couldn't be here for me. And that's one of my old videos I was telling y'all about what a true friend is. And she'll never know, just listening to me, how much I appreciated that. But I had to call, I guess my sister Eileen had already told my oldest daughter, but I couldn't get a hold of her, because I was just freaking out. I didn't know why she wasn't answering the phone, but then again, I knew. I was like, oh crap, she already knows her papa's gone. So, talked to my nephew Devin. He's stationed in El Paso, so he was coming down. He's like, "I'll pick up Shauna and bring her," because I was like, yeah, she's got to be there at the service and stuff. And Shauna is a lot like my father. Whenever there's somebody that passed away, even his own mom, when she passed away, he didn't go to the funeral. He waited till everybody left the gravesite the day of the funeral, and he had his own moment with her. That's just how he deals with things. He doesn't want people saying, "I'm so sorry for your loss," or hovering over him. And Shauna's the same way. So that's why she wasn't answering my phone call. She automatically went out and got a tattoo on her inside of her arm. And I'm not going to tell y'all what it says, but it's a little saying, because it's personal to her. It's a little saying that, and this was before this one cartoon had came out when she was younger. But it was a saying that she always said to her papa to try to beat him, that she loved him more than he loved her. It was her own little thing, but she got that tattooed on the inside. And so when Devin picked her up and they got to the, the service or whatever, it touched me. But to this day, I have not seen the rest of Captain Marvel. I don't know, I can't even remember, y'all, where I even left off on the movie. It's one of those things that I guess eventually, if I can sit through it and finish it, then I've officially come to terms with the passing of my father. Right now, it's still fresh to me, and I just can't do it. I know the duo that's on the list for them to watch as far as the Captain, the Marvel movies and stuff. stuff like that, I don't know if I'll be able to sit through that Zoom one. Just because it'll trigger something, you know. But I don't know if any of y'all are watching this, if y'all have any problems with your parents or brothers and sisters or cousins or somebody that's real close to you. I never had a problem with my father. I'm just saying in general, call them up. Life is too short. The last time I saw him was that January, and it was at my nephew's birthday party, and I swung by and visit with them, and I told Polly when we left that day, I said, there's something's off, something feels weird, He said, what, your parents? I said, I can't put my finger on it. And then of course a couple months later in March he passes away. So I don't know if I knew it or what do you want to call it? But y'all, I miss him every day. There's just so much that he has taught me. I'm passing on to my girls, and spend every moment you can with your loved ones. Make those memories. That's what I love about photography, and I hate about photography because the year before that I had to go through all and find my brother-in-law's pictures from when he passed away for the funeral services. I had an old employee that was shot in his front yard trying to protect his son's truck that was being robbed. I had to go through all those. I had a friend that passed away of cancer. She was 35, single mom of 3, and she had passed away a year and a month to the day that her oldest daughter had passed away. So it's like, it's good that I held on to those pictures because those family members have those memories and they really appreciate it, and I never charge anybody for resending those pictures to them, never, because I'm not a bad person like that. But it just going through my childhood photos and stuff like that, and just looking and remembering all the Christmases and stuff like that. The girls were actually asking me the other night, like, about gifts wrapping and stuff. And my parents, the only gifts we had under the tree that were wrapped were from grandparents, aunts, and stuff like that. Our gifts were laid out unwrapped by Santa with our stocking, because our stockings had our name on it, so our stockings were laid right in front of our pile of toys and stuff. So that's the one gift that is very cherished to me, and that my oldest daughter Shauna wants like really, really bad, and I told her, I said, you can't have it till I pass away. The first piece, my dad was a jewelry person, so any kind of holidays and anything like that, my mom got jewelry, okay? And it's from Zales and the nice places. So my first thing that I got from him was, I like heart necklaces, heart rings, and stuff like that. It's a heart-shaped, kind of like the filigree design on it, but it's a real opal in there. And the opal has crumbled twice in there. I've had to get it replaced because it's a soft, precious stone. Because I'm precious, but you have to keep it oil, So, but it's sterling silver. The chain is the original chain, and I've got it like hooked on another piece of the little connecting chain, because all through junior high and high school, I played basketball and ran track. So I always wore it during my basketball games, which now I'm looking back, I'm like, I shouldn't have, but that's why the chain is like that, because my daughter's like, why don't you get a new chain? I'm like, no, that was the original that came with it, I'm a very sentimental person. But that's my favorite piece of jewelry. I also got another one. It's a ring, and it's a big ring, and it looks like an X that my mom and my dad gave me the day that I had the kidney surgery, and it was a present to me, and it's supposed to match, it's supposed to be like a cross match, so that's why it's an X. It's a real cool one. And then of course I've got like cowboy or blue stone looking style necklaces and stuff like that. But I hate to bring everybody down. I had to vent. I just really have a moment, and I just wish I could have had a couple more years. You know, I learned everything I could from him. I was the tomboy growing up, so I went fishing with him, picked blackberries. I mean, all that kind of stuff. I stayed outside watching him, you know, tinker with any kind of tools and cars and stuff like that. I miss all that. I'm glad I have all that though. I mean, it's good memories. I even got my friend Kristen sent me a journal book so I can write down like any events, like, okay, I was thinking about you today, Dad, because of this happened and stuff like that, you know. But yeah, I mean, I miss them a lot. I really do. But I want y'all to just think about whoever you're arguing with, you know, because there's people out there like me that have a parent that I lost. I would give anything to, you know, have back. That it was not even worth if you're fighting with them, you know. If they're just a complete bad person, yeah, I can understand, but let the petty stuff go. You know, appreciate what you have, hold on to what you have, call them. If you're even like right now the COVID, even if we get a clearing, hey, everybody's free to do what you want, call them. Just call them. You know, my girls would call my dad all the time. Hey, Papa, what you doing? You know, and of course they would argue with him about things because my oldest one knows everything. But that's the fountain side of my family. That's where she gets that from. She's got a lot of my dad's features and stuff. But I kind of held it in. I think I did okay. But my heart goes out to anybody that's lost anybody close to them, whether it's a parent or whoever. Just someone that that's the one that you leaned on, and that was my dad. You know, he taught me classic rock, which I mean the Who, the Beatles, Rolling Stones, Fleetwood Mac, all of that. That's classic rock to me. I was raised on all that, so he taught me good, taught me well. But kiss everyone that you know that's close to you, that you can kiss. Hold them. You know, like I said, call them when you can. It's not even 5 minutes. Hey, I was just thinking about you today. You know, they could be going through something, and your call is going to help them out or whatever. Thank y'all for viewing this. I hate that it's a bummer, but like I said, I just had to vent. I hope everybody that is traveling staying safe. Wear your mask, of course. Safe travels. Have a happy holiday. Eat lots of food. Don't worry about the presents. Just worry about your presence around others and people around you. I hope y'all have a happy holiday. And I promise the next video will be upbeat. But thank you all for listening, if you're still listening right now. And I will talk to y'all later. Rest in peace, James Edward Mann Fountain the First.